All right, good day, everybody. It is April the 6th, 2022. It's Wednesday, midweek. A lot of things in the news. Some things keep recycling, and I think it's important for us to pay attention to it. So let's just dive right into it. Um, Texas AG Ken Paxton talks about Biden imposes the sickness mandates on Americans but exempting illegal aliens. Now, we talked about this just the other day. I think it's very concerning to us that they're going to allow these people into our country with no restrictions. Now, I don't think anyone should have any restrictions. So let's be clear about that. This is all a bunch of nonsense. We all know it. I don't think there should be any mandates, any restrictions. Nobody should be forced to wear a dirty diaper. Nobody should be forced to take any kind of vacation, period. What I'm frustrated about is this administration continues to push the narrative, continues to rely on the lamestream media propaganda machine to push fear, to convince everybody that this next variant is worse than the last one, and that everybody should do their part to keep your neighbors safe. With that being said, now there's continuing to allow illegals to come into this country with no restrictions. While President Joe Biden continues opposing the Chinese sickness mandates on American citizens, illegal aliens are exempt from those restrictions. And the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton exclusively tells Breitbart News that late last week, the Centers of Disease and Control Prevention, which is the CDC, announced that Biden would end Title 14, or sorry, Title 42 on May 23rd. So that's next month. What is Title 42? Well, I'll tell you here in just a minute. The Board of Public Health Authority, which serves as a border control measure, allows federal immigration officials to quickly return border crossers and illegal aliens to their native countries. Now, President Donald Trump put that in effect in 2020. So former President Trump invoked Title 42 in 2020 for the first time in American history. That order was used at the border to ensure that American citizens were protected from any viral infections, disease, and or illnesses at the borders and illegal aliens that they could be carrying, especially the Chinese sickness. Now, we talked about smallpox, we talked about hepatitis. I mean, there's all kinds of things that if these illegals get to just cross with no restrictions could bring into our country. Now, I don't think for one second that these people are dirty or any of that. I think there are probably some legitimate and good people trying to migrate here. Problem is they're all trying to cut in line, and I don't agree with that for 1 minute. So they've even said that there's potentially, and I said this before, potentially 500,000 arriving at the border every month. Now, we talked about that. That's the population of Atlanta, Georgia, every month getting ready to cross our border illegally. Something to pay attention to, folks. All right, next headline. Here we go. This is why it's happening, and look at what their next move is next. So, a backlog of amnesty for over 1 million illegals facing deportation. President Joe Biden's border chief is planning a no deportation amnesty for many of the 1.7 million illegal migrants waiting in the courtroom backlogs, even as officials are preparing to welcome many hundreds of thousands of more job-seeking migrants. Okay, so the courts are backlogged, and what this administration has done, as the ones that they do capture at the border, they're actually like telling them, hey, here's a ticket. You've got to report for court within 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. The courts are backlogged. These people are not even showing up. So they don't get any information from them. They don't know where they're going or anything about them. These people are plainly disappearing in American society. This is the equivalent of nullifying our immigration laws. So these people come to our country illegally, break our laws illegally. They come and break our laws, and then this administration just ushers them across the border. Now, it goes further into this article talking about inflation. So there are people complaining in the Houston area that they've been offered jobs that pay $12 to $13 an hour. And with the inflation that we are seeing today, a $12 to $13 an hour job just can't put food on the table. And then you usher in millions of illegal immigrants that will come here and work for those wages because they're not used to making that kind of money. What does that do to the American citizen? What does that do to inflation and putting food on the table? It can really have a ripple effect, folks. It can really have a ripple effect. All right, let's hit the next headline. Let's talk about Twitter real quick. Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, Babylon Bee still locked out of Twitter. The Christian Sapphire site Babylon Bee, Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, and Fox News Tucker Carlson are still locked out of their Twitter accounts for posting that transgender Department of Health and Human Services, the HHS Assistant Secretary Rachel Levin, as biological male. Let's just call the guy Richard. It's disgusting. I can't even believe some of the things that I'm seeing today. The Babylon Bee, Kirk, and Carlson remain defiant after getting suspended for their Twitter accounts, refusing to delete the tweets that got them locked out of their accounts in the protest of social media platforms in censorship of true statements deemed offensive by members of society. Okay? We aren't banned, but we are suspended until we delete the tweet. We won't do that, said Kurt to Breitbart News on Tuesday. We won't deny the truth just to be on Twitter. Now, I'm happy to see these people stand up for what's right? And Richard Levine spent 54 years of his life as a man. He had a wife, he had a family, he transitioned to being a woman in 2011. Joe Biden appointed Levine to be a 4-star admiral, and now USA Today has named Rachel, aka Richard, as Woman of the Year. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have so many beautiful and wonderful women out there as a part of the LWN family that watch this show. They contribute to this show. They support this show. This is just horrible for you women to have something like this portrayed as a woman. And now we talk about the new nominee for the Supreme Court who says she can't give you a definition of a woman because she's not a biologist. Pretty sad. I'm not going to say what I want to say, but it's pretty sad and pretty disgusting. All right, next headline. Let's talk about China. The DEA administration, China, is providing chemicals to chemical drug networks that are mass producing fentanyl pills. What's that all about? Well, during an interview with ABC on Tuesday, aired on Tuesday's edition of Nightline, the DEA administrator Ann Milgram stated that China provides chemicals to Mexico to the criminal drug networks that are now mass producing fake prescription pills that are sold as though they were prescription drugs, and they are actually laced with fentanyl. Milgram said, "We do see a large number of young people who are purchasing pills. What we know is that China is providing chemicals to Mexico to the criminal drug networks that are then mass producing these fake prescription pills. They're being sold as they were Annex, Oxy, and Percocet. But there's no Annex, no Oxy, and no Percocet in them. It's fentanyl. But it isn't just young people that we're seeing. It's also older Americans. Right now, this is the leading cause of death. What did I just read? Right now, this is the leading cause of death. Now, if you listen to the propaganda machine, the lamestream media, they're claiming that the sickness is the leading cause of death. But this is not what this article says. Overdoses are the leading cause of death for men between the ages of 18 and 45. There are more overdose deaths than car accidents and gun violence. So why aren't we doing something about this? I mean, they threw a fit about the sickness. So why aren't we all wearing masks for overdoses? I don't know. Just something I had to bring up. All right, let's hit the next headline. I'm bringing this headline up because I talked about it yesterday, but I want to warn you guys on something. So there was a reveal, a new documentary shows that the Obama-tied dark money group used Zuckerberg's cash to change an election. Let's just say that. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a good friend of mine's been listening to the show, sent me a link yesterday to a documentary that is sponsored by Citizens United. It's called Rigged. Okay, he sent me the link and we started watching it, and I realized real quick that it's not the same movie. So I haven't seen this one yet, but I did watch the one that was sent to me yesterday. What's happening, and I'm just giving you a quick warning. The left, the Democrat Party, has also went out and they made their own movie to counteract this called Rigged. And what that is about is they are claiming that the Republican Party is rigging everything. I mean, this is so ridiculous. So I watched the video. It did have some data points in there and some information that I did collect out of there. But I'm telling you right now, these people, when they say that this is like a chess game, that one person moves a pawn on a certain place on the chessboard, and then the other side does. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it right before my eyes. It's back and forth, and now they are trying to capture people's attention with the name of the same movie and trying to portray the Republican Party and the conservative movement as evil people and suppressing votes. That's what the movie is about. It's about suppressing votes. It's totally ridiculous. All right, let's hit the next headline. Let's talk about this. I brought this up in the title because yesterday at the White House, a crowd laughs after Barack Obama refers to Joe Biden as vice president. Now, I've seen the clips. I've looked at it a few times. Was it a joke? Was it a gaffe? Or was there something else? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there at you. Former President Barack Obama sparked laughter after he referred to President Joe Biden as vice president on Tuesday during his return to the White House. The former president was introduced by vice president or president. I mean, I don't know. They say Joe Biden refers to Kamala Harris as president. Vice president heels up Kamala Harris before taking the podium. Okay. He says, quote, Vice President Biden, vice president. Then the crowd began to bust up in laughter. Obama, however you want to pronounce his last name, later insisted that it was just part of a joke and walked over and gave Biden a friendly hug before returning to using his correct titles. Joe Biden, my president, end quote, Obama said seriously as he continued his speech. The former president recounted his effort to getting Obamacare passed, even though it was deeply unpopular with Americans. You can say that again. He also went on to say that there was a lot of misinformation flying around. And then, of course, Biden got up and said that my name is Joe Biden and I'm Barack Obama's vice president after he took the podium playing into the joke. He also says it feels like the good old days. All right, let's hit the next headline. Now, listen to what the White House is saying. I want you guys to pay attention to this article. White House ignores calls for special counsel investigation into Hunter Biden. The White House ignores the calls Tuesday for an independent special counsel to investigate President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's shady foreign business deals. Now, remember, folks, there is a book out written and authored by Peter Schweitzer. It's called Red Handed. I've been telling you guys this for months. I told you guys that this information that was put out in this book is going to, in my opinion, stir up a lot of this stuff. And I believe if we get the right people in the right places, there will be an investigation. The White House press secretary spoke out about it, indicating a special counsel, listen, a special counsel was not needed because Biden had not discussed the investigation into his son with the Department of Justice, the DOJ. Well, why would a president discuss investigating his own son, right? You got to ask yourself that question. Let's go a little further. The president, and this is a quote from Jen Psaki, the president has never had a conversation with the Department of Justice about any investigations to any members of his family, end quote. She said when she was asked whether the White House supported an idea of a possible special counsel, she punted any additional questions like she usually does. She used to say, I'll circle back to that. I'll circle back to that. She was known as the circle back gal. Now she just punts it and says, well, that special, how did she put it? Special investigation into the DOJ led by Attorney General Merrick Garland. She just says, well, you'll have to refer to the DOJ about that. You'll have to ask the DOJ about that. So now that's how she deflects all those questions. An appointed special counsel could ensure an independent investigation into the president's son's untainted by politics. So they want to have a special counsel so that politics don't play a part into it. So Psaki sidestepped a question on whether the White House would support a special counsel investigation. Of course she did. She's not going to answer that question. But Representative Brian McDonald's, a Republican from Florida, on Monday called for a special counsel investigation into Hunter Biden's overseas deals. He, quote, says, this speaks of corruption in the White House. He did this interview on Fox News, and he was really pushing the special investigation. Now, Psaki also said that the White House stood by President Biden's claim that his son, Hunter, did not break the law. Now, we all know that this is tied to the big guy himself, right? She also went on to say, quote, this is something that the president has said, and certainly we would echo. Remember, she says that all the time. We would certainly echo this. When asked if the White House stood by President Biden's claim, she never discussed Hunter's foreign business dealings with him. Psaki said yes. So remember, Biden claims that him and Hunter have never talked about any of his business dealings ever. And she says, yes, we believe his claim. So again, it's coming to the forefront. Is anything going to come of it? I believe something will. I believe there will be an investigation. This is just the start of it. It's somewhere to get started. And I think that there's going to be a whole lot more about these dealings with the Biden family coming out in the near future. So thanks for joining us today, folks. We'll catch you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Podbean and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for LWN. Love you all. Have a great day. God bless.